is sleeping. You have to be quiet. Hello. I am super behind on Woo because I've been playing thousands of other things. And now they're at 2.0 and I never did the last update. Whee! That's what we're doing. I wasn't going to stream and then I wanted to stream and that's where we're at. And you aren't the boss of me, so I'm streaming. Well, welcome everybody. We are in the middle of something. I don't know what. Keep in mind, I have the Japanese voice actors on. Oh, you're Beatrice. Hi. I saw on accident there is an enemy and she's, oh no, hot. Go figure. Right? How am I supposed to fight enemies that are hot? That's like illegal. I like her jumpsuit. It looks uncomfortable though. No, I don't. That hairstyle can't be comfortable with like the little bang part in your face. I don't know, I'm just saying, I don't like my hair in my face. Yes, I had a face. And it was always in my face, but now I can't stand it. How much you paying? That's all I care about is money. Money, money, money. Yeah, you better. You better. Else I won't do it. Won't. You can't make me. Oh, was that Camilla? Where'd she go? I didn't hear nothing. I ain't heard shit. Except money. Money, 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 money. I'm gonna level with you. I don't know how to play this anymore. Arigato. What are your clips in your hair for? Because they certainly weren't holding your hair. Now it looks like they are. But they weren't in that cutscene. Hey, I don't want you to fade out of existence. I'm trying to... See? You guys see that? The clips are kind of like not holding her hair. It's just like randomly in her hair. Where am I going? Doko desu ka? Doko desu ka? Door? I don't remember what these places are, guys. You gotta hold my hand. Where is my icon? Doko? Where? Eh? Use your auto move or auto map. Auto move map? What? What the hell are you talking about? Okay. I found it. You mean the teleport? You mean the teleport? You couldn't teleport? You mean teleport? Guys, there's a skin for Jinxie, and I want it, but I has no money. I'm sad. It's so pretty. It's so pretty and pink and flowery. Kairi, what are you playing? I don't remember doing that. This is so pretty. Yes, it's been more noticeable lately. Suspiciously IDK either. What were we talking about? Question, guys. What is with China and their gacha games having a companion that's always hungry? I have questions and no answers. Abby's talking about on my back. Teleports and auto maps. Autobots? I don't know what an auto map is. I've never heard that phrase before. No, I really should play my Japanese, learning my games that teaches you Japanese again. You see how these clips, they hold in hair. The edge of the hair. That's a weird way to offer your hand. My fingers are bigger. Oh, my head. Whoa. That's creepy. Not an issue of this record. ブラックショアの基盤にあるデータ異常を解決し、ショアキーパーもテティスとのつながりを得たということ。今のあなたはブラックショアのあらゆるデータにアクセスする権限を持っている最高管理者。つまりあなたはあなたに関する情報がテティスのデータベースに存在しないと気づいているはず。その情報を消したのはあなただ。今そこに立っているあなたは私が自ら記憶を消した後目覚めた。I'm so confused because it looks like they tried to make the rover but in negative, but the colors aren't correct for negative. Like the blacks are still black and the whites are blue-ish. It's confusing. Like this is green. This is still black. And what is that weird stripe? What is this? What is that? I don't have that. I don't have a stripe in my hair. No stripe. Are we gonna hold hands? Hold hands with myself all these waifus and still maidenless. Damn, I can't even hold my own hand. Hand holding lewd. Listen, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. It's fine. It's lewd hour. Ow. That hurt. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That hurt. It wasn't even me. I'm not even the one that hurt your ears. It was the game this time. Also, why was it so high-pitched? I thought only dogs could hear that. My dog remains unbothered in my lap, taking a nap. I should be napping. Ow. Who is Imperator? Imperator. You know, like a ringing sound. That's okay. It won't happen again, surely. Renacita. Petis. Secret. Yes. Shh. You gotta whisper. It's whisper secrets. Shh. Ringing sound happens again for no reason, and a beetle spontaneously combusted. No, beetle, you'll be fine. Don't worry, bug. Are they twins? Is it two people? Why am I hearing two overlapping voices? Oh. Oh, it's Carlotta. Carlotta? Carlotta? I don't remember what her name was. She's on the banner. She's a gunner. I want her. She also has white hair, can you tell? You know what that means? I have to pull her. My white hair girl army. Montelli family? Ow. Whoops. About my space. Hey, it's Beatrice. What is she doing over here? I thought she was telling me to fix something. Wasn't that the quest we were doing in the first place? What happened? Why are we over here again? Oh. That bunny's creepy. Food, wine, light shows. Yeah, let's party. Let's go. I am down to clown. No, wait, time out. Not clown. I am down to not clown, but have a great time. Yeah, there we go. Smooth you, Fracture. You did great. Smooth you. Has this always had Carl? I hate that. Did you see that shit? Fucking pissed me off. This is not how fabric would work in this area either. By the way, it's not how I need to talk with the character designers about how clothing works. Let's go. Enough talk. Let's move. Make waves. Teleportate. Hello, Ashley. Hello. Oh. Damn, you moved the piano bench and everything. Wait, where are you going? Why aren't you coming? What the Oh, look at me. I'm so very mindful. You needn't worry. Save yourself. Sure. Thank you. First class trip on a little boat. Here we go. Main story time. What beacon you want set for yourself, imbued with the strength and faith to keep moving forward, have been enhanced. Echoing orchestra. Now flick spectro frazzle effect on the target while retaining their original effects. Ooh. Do I gotta put my rover back to spectro? Probably should. Negative statuses include Aero, Electro, Spectro, Fusion, Glacio, and Havoc. Neat. Oh. Prologue. Prologue. Money tree at 8 pass. What? Money tree? Hey, what's up? Hi. Oh, okay. I could have walked. I didn't need a teleport like that. I mean, hi, Alto. Okay. I'm about to enter a long quest line. I hear Alto's English VA is pretty good as far as bad direction goes. I think they got somebody pretty high named for the next area too, but I don't remember who it was. Don't hold. Bold! It's certainly small and discreet. New Fed World Expo. Nearly lost my shirt haggling for it. Stock up for Black Shores. Where did you get money for a boat? This looks like a recorder. Like the mouthpiece for a recorder. Raguna. I'm ready. Let's go. I don't know what I'm packing. The Sea of Stars. Joke's on you, Alto. I don't have breeches. I wear tiny little undies under a long scrap of fabric held together with some strings. It makes it easier to fight in. Oh, Abby. Your forehead is orange. Excuse, Shadow? Nani? Hey, no. Shoot it. Hey, get out my face, damn. Shoot it. Aw, hell no! I don't do the... Oh my god, wait. I like it. That's aesthetic as fuck. The narwhal whale thing? I love it. Okay, that's not great. Whoa, what is that? What? No, don't hurt it. It's just a little guy. What? That's sick. Wow. It's like a move. Oh. A fucking pirate? Whoa. Okay, what the fuck is happening? Who are you? Why are you in a box? Okay, I don't know about that. 0 out of 10 stars. 5 stars? Whatever. Doesn't matter. I picked the stars. Hi, you got a mask. I'm into that. Hello, pirate booty. You think he'll let me swap his deck? Oh my god, he's pretty. Hello. Personally, I'm normally after some baddie mommies, but I can make an exception for a cute little pirate boy. Can I wear your hat? I like your hat. Behemoth. Rover seems unimpressed. You know what? That's fair. That looks very Kingdom Hearts shaped. The little heart. Very Kingdom Hearts. That, in fact, literally Kingdom Heart. His eyes are pretty colors. He's like a jester pirate. Oh. Alright, you're sus. Talking echo. It's not an echo. Yeah, you tell him. What's your name? Where are you going? Come back here. Tell me your name. Brant? Alright. Alright. They lost me. Brant. What kind of name is Brant? It's like Renji named him. I'm the Watcher of the Realm, master of both light and darkness. Abby! Don't ruin my fun. Gosh. That shouldn't be dramatic and mysterious. Clearly that didn't work out for me. The plushies are your crew? Explains why you look like a jester. Troop of fools. Troop. Like acting. Is this a stage? That's a hiccup? You hungry? A carnival? Oh my god, yes. Yes, we heard it's a big festival. Stop talking and drive the echo. The mysterious echo. Why do calendars have crowns or jewels? Let's go. What is that? What the fuck? Does the Laurel get you an audience with the Sentinel? Who's this? Wait, like, of course not. No mortals ever laid eyes on the Divine Sentinel. Interesting. Interesting. I am not a mere mortal. I am something far more horrifying. You should see. I don't know where I was going with that. Never mind. Are you also attending the carnival? 10 years. Oh, the fools. That's why they all gesture. Hmm. Fuck you. Waveborne phenomena. Ow. Ow. That was really stuck on my hand. You guys would never believe the amount of water I've drank. I swear. It's more water than I've ever drank in my entire life. I got one of them circle water bottles with a C and a K. And you? Ah! What the fuck? What is that? I don't like that. Whatever this is. I don't like it. I don't like the way it moves. Alright, can you stop talking, my guy? I don't know what your deal is. Or where these land critters came from. It's kind of weird that they just appeared on your ship. Hey, I took care of it. You can calm the hell down. Cuddle Waddle! Oh my god. What a name. Why are you... Hello? Do you... Ho ho? The enigmatic giant wraps you in a bear hug. A peculiar yet friendly energy. Okay, I wasn't done reading, but... Hello, little box. Knock, knock. Who's in there? It's sleeping. Touch it. Touch it! Touch it! Touch it! Look, a supply chest. Abby's like, oh, yeah. Oh, wait. No. Oh, come on, Abby. Let us open it. Ain't no telling. Rokoko. Hello? She's rather reserved. She seems very shy.
これは彼女のお気に入りのコレクションの一つでね。あえて嬉しいって伝えているんじゃないかな。もしかして君とアブの関係性に親しみを感じているのかい?
Is that supposed to be a collar? Oh. The designs in it. Pero. Hey, what's down here? Treasure? I like treasure. This is open. Oh, well, fuck you. Whoa. Fuck you and your invisible walls. Look at that invisible walls, guys. Ouch. I super should not be playing this with the mouse. But I am anyway. Because who's gonna stop me? Konnichiwa! Let out, presumably. I try to get some seagulls. Quit with the wacky noises already. Rude. It happily bobs its head, careful not to affect the ship's hull. The liner continues to glide and sail through the water. Behold, friends, she stands. Veraguna's lighthouse of dawn. Y'all, let's go. New area. Let's explore. Ah! Did you see her? Stop talking to me. Stop talking. I saw a pretty lady. Stop talking to me. Stop. Silence. I have to go chase down the pretty girl. She's going so far away now. And you're still talking to me with your dumb name and very pretty face. Wada wada? Confetti. Don't wink at me. Abby, say goodbye. You are really close, and your teeth are yellow. I suppose he is a pirate. A lot of fresh water to brush your teeth. Gocce di divino. Your existence is a crime. Your name is stupid. Your voice, silky smooth. And your face, too pretty. Be gone. She didn't leave. I could still chase her. Go away. Go away. Go away. Hey. Hi, Mastermind. Sleep well. Abby flashbang. They died. I tried waking you up. Open your ears, Abby. Auto map. Look at her pigtails. They're so cute. Go forth, dear pilgrims. Whoa. Mash. Pass. What's wrong with his face? Oh no, is this like super religious? You're all so righteous, why don't you just join the pilgrims to themselves? Oh, it's gross here. Ew. I'll make you laugh. Watch this. I have a sword. Wow. He doesn't look like an NPC. Wait. Oh, that lady was bothering that other lady. What is... I don't know how... That does not look like an NPC, and now he's standing behind me. Help. Ah! Who the fuck? Well, if you insist, I sit here with and keep you company. Cristoforo? Cristoforo? You mean Christopher? I am Fracture. Reaper class android. I enjoy shooty shoots and naps. Do you think they'll give me one of them robot things? Christopher. Do you guys think they'll give me one of the robot things? Laguna Nessie. Wait. Listen, my guy, if you weren't blonde, we could talk. Now, for the record, I don't have a problem with blondes. His is just too yellow. What is that? You're standing really close. Actually, sir, can you go away? These flowers, these are one of my favorite flowers. They're like hydrangeas. If he had purple hair or white hair, though. Where are you getting this purple hair from? One, two, three. I have 3 white-haired characters that I purposely pulled for. Just thought of it. I don't have a trend of purple-haired weirdos. I have a trend of white hair. White. Hello? I cannot activate. Very well. I needn't activate it then. Christopher! Let's go. Can I have your cape? I like it. Like, what if he had purple hair? Pass. I feel like purple would... Because he's got like a monochrome color scheme going on here. Christopher. Benedico. I feel like they're supposed to be Spanish influences, but they didn't know what Spanish is. Or Italian, maybe? Like they were making up names. Ain't no way. Piety? Doesn't seem like whatever I just saw.
確かにあの者たちはいささか抵抗的にも見えましたが、ラグーナにとって彼らは
Fools by Raguna's laws.
愚かなまま迷い死に果てるより義を貫き希望とともに困難を迎える方がいいでしょ。船に乗った巡礼者たちがたくさんの困難を乗り越え、ようやく祭司が待つ約束の地にたどり着く。今そんな脚本を考えています。しかし魅力的な物語を作るためには予想外の展開が必要です。例えば最後に彼らを迎えたのは採取ではなく
But what? I'm sold. You say treasure, I'm fucking there. What's with the candy canes in the water? Daddy! Oh my god, thank you. Baby. I'm gonna pet the cat. I'm gonna pet the cat. Can I pet that cat? Can I pet that kitty? Can I pet that kitty? Can I pet that kitty?
絶望の中で最後を迎える話と苦難に見舞われながらも義人が救いを得る話。
Oh, you guys distracted me. I forgot I was chasing the pretty girl. What is more compelling to you? Neither.
わかりました。アドバイスありがとうございます。
Go away.
遠方からのお客様、またカルネバーレでお会いしましょう。ラグーナの歌劇もぜひお楽しみください。
I'm gonna fight him.
わかんなくなってきた。あいつが言ってたのは本当のことなのか？それとも物語？
I'm sure it's real to them.
あいつなんか謎めいた雰囲気を持ってるな。
The average of an artist. Playwrights and their metaphors.
でもカルネバーレが楽しいってことは分かった。なんかワクワクしてきたな。
Oh.
お祭りを楽しみながら採取に会えるなんてまさにウィンウィンだな。
Wing wing. Wing wing. Ow. Oh, eat the cat. Why do hiccups hurt? I'm fine. I'll follow you. Gondolier. Oh, down there. Well, what's up here, though? Treasure? Oh. It's over there, guys. We could swim that. It's not that far. What is that? It's bonds. It's giving Inazuma. When I first jumped into this game, I forgot about fall damage. Oops. Wrong button. Fear my sentinel, guys. Yes, please, thank you. Is this boat an echo? Wait, is it? Ew, what is that? Pardon? Ew, I don't like that. Ew. Nasty. Ew. I don't like that. What is that? Sacred breathes so often breathes. pyramid head?
もしかしたら群れをなすアブとか
I still want one.
やだ。我は音階の国でも一番特別な音階でいたい。
Good night, Abby. Sleep well.
はい。
Doom 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 doom. Doom 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 doom.
訪れたお客様には検査にご協力いただいております。
What?
これは個人用デバイス。
Yeah.
リナシータへ個人用デバイスを持ち込むには事前申告が必要です。
Form? Nobody gave me a fucking form. I didn't know about that.
否定ですのでご理解ください。
Bitch, I'm cooperating. Just tell me where to go get the form.
申し訳ございません。ですが、これも他のお客様の安全のため、どうか教団の規則に従ってください。
Fuck all you bitches. How about let me the fuck in, okay? I got parties to go to. Garinator? What is that? Show invitation? Here.
なるほど。モンテリファミリーが招待したお客様でしたか。それでは城の出入りおよび
Oh, great. Maybe I should fight the family that invited me.
無礼をお許しください。音階とはすなわち神の使者。教団の洗礼を浴びた個体であれば個人用デバイスに収まる音階
Baptized?
インペラトゥのご加護を得られる。
No, thank you. I refused. I don't have any plans to do that.
それは早計なご判断かと。なぜなら、採取は平和、公正、謙遜、慈悲の
No, thank you. Stop pushing your faith on me. Shit. Keep it to yourself. Get away from me. I swear to God, I'll stab you with my sword.
心の内におります。
Fuck off.
福音を伝える者には他者を思いやる気持ちと強い忍耐力が
Hello?
求められます。
Oh, hi.
一方的な宣言などただ相手の心に疑念を生み出すだけですよ。フィービー様、
Phoebe?
あとは任せてください。高貴なるお客様、ごきげんよう。私はフィービー、教団の司祭です。
You got blonde hair. I'm not
ラ
interested.
グーナへようこそ。今は
Sorry.
カーネバーレの開催が
S?
近いため、教団が
Are you a
入場管
child?
理を厳しくしています。ですが、
Why is your
皆さんに
mark
安全にお祭りを楽しんでいただく
so
ため
dark
にも
through tights?
どうかご理解ください。先ほどは我々の対応に非があったかと思います。ご不快な思いをさせてしまい、大変申し訳ございません。
Can we enter now? Can I go do stuff?
もちろんです。
No, I don't want to fucking follow you. Why do you even have those? What is up with your hair floating 10 feet away from you?
この道に沿っていけば
A balloon? I want a fucking balloon. Papers, please. You guys are funny. I'm not following you, Phoebe. I'm going. What is that?
祭司を信じれば
Why is it crying?
ごとく
Hello.
行く道が
What
照ら
are
される
you?
ことでしょう。
I don't like it.
我々は祭司と
Oh my god.
祭司が授けるすべてを愛しています。それ
What is
ゆえ
that?
恩愛は愛され、教団と民にとって大事な役割を持つのです。
Abby?
どうしてずっとしゃっくりしてるの？恩愛なのに消化不良と
Where did she go? Optional follow Phoebe into the city.
というか、出
Ugh,
発してから
I would feel bad if I just left the stupid little girl standing here.
腹減った
Come along. Go! Where you stopped? Where are the ends of your hair so light? Ugh. Ew! What? What in the hentai? Sus. The fishtail. I take it their sentinel is sea related instead of a sky dragon. You guys... Oh, I did have a face. I was like, what the fuck?
うわー、あれって全部音階なの？
That one's cute. I like it. It's like an owl cat.
ラグーナに来られたお客様のほとんどがこの光景を見て驚かれます。
Oh, I suppose the other place didn't like echoes so much. Can we catch them like Pokemon here? Gonna catch them all, Pokemon. I'm gonna be the very best. Something before. Ah. Okay, I'm clicking. I'm clicking everywhere. A little echo that holds up a gift and presents it to you. Oh, she's so jealous. They look different from the echoes we just saw.
はい。人々の生活に馴染ませるため、ティナシータの公共音楽は最初から人が親しみや
Thanks
すい
to the
体験を
Sentinel.
授かりました。
I'm a Sentinel main myself, guys.
先ほどの音楽はミスターマギアと呼ばれています。特に子供たちはあの音楽の魔術が大好きなんですよ。もちろん大人でも幸せな過去に戻ってしまうような。
え？
失礼いたしました。聞かれてもいない。
You seem like a big fan. Are you a big fan? Phoebe? Brant? Are you all gonna have really stupid names? Is that the Nexus? Do you mind if I go touch it?
はい。この信号塔はラグーナ人に起源信号塔と呼ばれています。お客様自身の情報をご登録いただければ、ラグーナの住民と同じように城内すべての公共
Use all common echoes in the city like a regular citizen.
それではデバイスをこちらに置いてください。
What about my echoes? You gonna take them? You gonna... They're not safe like the plushies over there. My echoes are violent. They hunger for the destruction of humanity. I guess I'm not gonna warn about that. Instead of drown in swirling waves, heed the doctrine. Okay, you trying to drown me? Bruh, I'm afraid of the ocean. Brief history lesson, please. This was turned.
悲鳴の災いで故郷を離れた流浪。彼らはこの起源信号塔の導きと祭司が授けた音楽の知識に従い町を建てたのです。これがラグーナ人
Stop flashbanging me.
伝わる言い伝え。
No consent to the banging.
シータの本当の起源は分かってはいません。
I don't know how I feel about books and water near each other like that. That seems a little close for comfort.
お客様は祭司に謁見したいのですか?
Yeah. I wanna chat with the Sentinel. Kick his ass.
はい。カルネバールで祭司は月桂冠の奇跡を授け、それを賜った者は祭司の声を聞くことができる。ですが、実際に祭司との面会を叶えたの
Who's
は
that?
現教団主座、青い歴史上唯一の神の代弁者。祭司と直接話し、信託を得ることができる方です。
Why? Meaning they can resonate with the
その
Sentinel?
通りです。
Indeed.
フェンリコ様は
Senel's Imperator's Resonator. As such, he bears the title Enlightened One. Interesting, interesting. Okay. I still haven't seen this party. And I've been here like 30 minutes and I've been harassed, dragged through town. Oh, I can go party now? Great, great, great. No thanks. Pass. Thanks, but no thanks. Okay, where to next? Let's go get our money first. What the flip is this? Money? Bank? Whoa. What's that? Archive of melodies? Oh! Whoa. I can select the music of Raguna. I don't know what this one is. This one's in various languages. I like that. Sounds great. Oh, wait. I didn't do it right. Was it this one? No. Shucks! This one. Also no. Yes, it was. Dope. Hell yeah! I could pick the city music. A gondola. Why would I go there when I could, you know, go dick around? That's the real question. I haven't seen Treasure yet. And oh, whoa. What the fuck? Synthesis module. Oh, yeah, I saw that. What is this? Use the zoom camera to photograph. Zoom. Okay. I did it. Why? Okay. I got a stamp. What the fuck is this bathtub? Can I stand in it? Whoop. It's a dog? Okay. No, I cannot stand in it. Apparently. Let's go tub pup. Okay. I'm clipping through it. Bath time. Bubble bath. Where's the bubbles? Oh my god, he's got a face. Can I... I don't know how to get back out of the tub, guys. I'm stuck. Oh, hold. Never mind. He threw me in the sky. What the fuck is that? Medicine. Hello? Oh, they're reading the Bible thing. I don't want that. Bubbles. Hello. I like her. I like her. She's pretty. I'm feeling much better, Rosemary. Midst therapy. Fancy version of the nightmare. Imperceptibly. Poison or cure, harm or heal, it lies entirely in the user's intention. What's your intention? You're in this place alone?
積極的に関わろうとするラグーナ人はいないでしょう。ファミリーに対する噂や中傷は耳にしていますよね。
Poison of Raccoona.
誤解が積み重なり、こうなって
Seem to
しまった
find
んです
tales of
が、
the Viscilus interesting.
もし私といる姿を見られでもしたら、あなたまで非難さ私のせいで不
Fuck
利益を
their
被った
rumors.
申し訳
I've got
ござ
a
いません。
sword.
あなたには大事なことが
I'm
あ
not
るはず
bound by
で
their
す。
rules.
あなたは特別な人ですね。ありがとう、漂白者さん。
You're welcome. Do you want to come join me? Oh, I cannot come in there. Okay. Blech. Okay, camera, chill out. What do you sell?
薬や
Whoa,
ローズマリーへようこ
pretty
そ。薬剤の
flowers.
調
And a
合なら
bug.
お任せください。
And fur. Interesting you sell these things. That's cool. Ah, I'm not gonna pay for that just yet. Ooh, those look pick-upable. Sword. I got sword flowers. Suck my sword flowers. I thought I changed the background music. What is these bugs? Bugs too shiny. Like, wait for the performance. Okay, I'm bored. What about this performance? Magic. Okay. I wouldn't call that magical. Or they just continue the song everywhere? You guys don't have real dogs here? Maybe it's supposed to be French. What is this? Oh, the bank! I was supposed to be here. Oh, I don't have the local currency. Well, this is bullshit. How do I get the local currency? Whoa. Those swords are cool. Alright, I guess I gotta go where I'm supposed to be going. Fine. We'll do the linear thing. Do what we're supposed to. If I can figure out how to get back over there. Not very likely. You guys see that? That balloon appeared out of nowhere. What is that? Oh, that's the teleport point. We got TVs. Hey, is that that guy's mask? So, is this supposed to be, like, French inspired then? Oh no. What? What do you mean?
神速価格
Oh, that's cool, I guess. At least it lets you teleport to it. Right? Interesting. Okay. Keep an eye out of what? I stepped in the puddle. Yep. Let's go, gondola. French Italian, maybe? I'm not sure. I've never been outside of the states. I've only been to like 5 states. Oh, 50.
そう言われると我も楽しみになってきた。じゃあさ、
This
お
feels,
金をもらったらお腹いっぱい食べれる店を探しに
I
行こう。
think, Italy. What is that?
もう腹がペコペコ。
This area is based on Italy. Who's singing? They missed it. Stop. There was a guy named Cristoforo Cristoforo. I was just over it. Bruh. Are you making me ride in the weird fleshy boat? I don't wanna. God damn it. I was just fucking over here. I was just fucking over here. I was just fucking over here. Just fucking over here, man.
アベラルド銀行へようこそ、ミス漂白者。
Hey there.
私はザンニー、当銀行の者です。この度はモンテリファミリーよりお客様をご案内するよう仰せつかっております。もう一人お連れ様がいると伺っておりますが。
Smash. You can be my companion.
かしこまりました。参加資金の手配はすでに完了しております。
Oh.
どうぞ。
My fund? Ew.
こちらにデバイスを。この銀行のご利用は初めてかと思いますが、
I don't like that thing.
お客様はモンテリファミリーの招待を受けていますので、メンバーシップのランクはゴールド。
Gold membership. Do I get twice as much money?
口座登録はメルクリオによる自動操作で行われます。完了までしばらくお待ちください。
Even the cash machine is an echo.
はい。銀行に設置された音階はすべてモンテリ
All echoes belong to the Montelli family.
ATM に特化したモデルです。銀行以外にもお
Designed.
客様を案内するよう仰せつかっています。カルネバーレが開催されるまでの間。
Oh, you're gonna be joining me? This metal piece is bending weird.
楽しまれてはいかがでしょうか。まあ、あまり
Girl, you need a bigger shirt.
ないのですが、短い時間で効率よくすべての観光スポット
That one is fighting for its life.
という方向けですからね。
I like your lashes.
いささ
Those
か
are
急
pretty.
な依頼であったため、スケジュールの作成やお客様のニーズすべてにお答えする時間はありません。
What are you?
満足いただけない点があれば
Is that rude to ask?
でもお申し付けください。
No need to be so formal. Calm down. Tell me what you are.
これは
What's with the
モンテリファ
horns?
ミリーの作法。私はただそれに従うだけです。
Oh, shut up, machine.
お客様の資金の振り込みが完了しました。ご確認ください。それと、
Can I touch your
これからの
horns?
予定を伺ってもよろしいでしょうか。
Any good restaurants?
この近くのトラットリアマルゲリータという店がおすすめです。
Margarita.
というメニューは
Margarita. I don't know how she said that. That sounded fancy.
申し訳ございません。仕事の連絡が。
I am your work. Where are you going? Fine, I'll go eat by myself, I guess. Damn. Girl, go find a bigger shirt. Shit.
運送用の音階も手配してある。計画通り進めるんだ。特に23番と56番は外国からの珍しい品物。ロンバルディさんが高価な保険をかけている。ミスは許さ
What
ない。
is even the point of the tie if you were making it where the buttons were straining?
あ、あと
Struggle.
は任せたぞ。
I never understood the gloves that kind of come at your palm. The end of your palm. Those don't seem very comfortable to me. Seems like a packed schedule. Is everything alright?
お気遣いありがとうございます。最近移動があったせいで
Second month, so I'm having to handle a few
それで
extras.
私が他の
Stop.
業務を引き継いで。
May I introduce you to a friend of mine?
数日間の有
What's her
給
name?
休暇と高額な報酬を上司が約束してくれたからであって。
Her name. Not Noelle. That's the wrong game.
失礼、余計なこと。でも
Tachi should show you a thing or two about naps. Loosen up.
力を抜いて大丈夫だよ。私は自分のことをちゃんと守れるし、依頼人に文句をつけたりはしない。それに、あまり気を使われても、かえって疲れるし。
Yeah, let's do a casual little hangout. Zani, does that sound fun? Yes. Do you wanna hold hands?
改めて、漂白者、食事に行こうか。
Do you wanna hold hands? No. Oh, okay, that's fine. You okay? A strange white cat. The sun. Why am I getting that? In my dream. I am here. How did you know? There's like a path guiding me. That's interesting. I gotta take a picture real quick. Apparently. Pizza oven. Ew. Ew. Hello. Your hair is so cute. She puts my pigtails to shame.
今日はずいぶん早い退勤ですね。いや、まだ仕事中だよ。キュキュ？でも、なんだかご機嫌ですね。今日は社畜とんでけセットにしますか？それともハッピー休日セットにしますか？じゃあ後者で。キュキュ？ご一緒の方は、なるほど。
Yeah, thank you. I do matter a lot. Bring me. Aw, dang. I slipped. I wanted to order everything. You had a weird ruffles on your pet. You have a tail. Are you a demon? That's a devil tail. What the? Wait. Wait, Zani. I have questions. Zani, please answer. Are you a demon? Cause that's hot. That's hot. Zani. Whoa. Spaghetti with ketchup? Is she a dog? She has a tail. Wake up, Abby. What is this? This isn't glowing anymore. Yeah, it's a symbiotic relationship. Have you ever seen an echo like this? Well, like I said, she's an infection, but it's helpful sometimes. Are you smiling? Yeah, we better before Abby eats it all. You mean cheeseburgers and spaghetti with ketchup sauce? We serve freshwater fish before sea fish, or its tender flavor will be masked. It complements the main course, hearty but not too heavy, perfect for those burning the midnight oil. What about the 3 a.m. oil? 2 a.m. oil. Excuse me. It's not quite that late yet. I'm getting sleepy. You want to snuggle? You never answer my question. Can I touch your horns? Just a little touch. Are you drinking nectar wine? You are drinking. Oh. Okay. Can you say that again? Cheers. You could quit your job. Cool. Everybody is talking way too damn much. Oh. Oh, that's gay. Oh. That one's blonde too. Oh, maybe not blonde. White? I'm collecting her. I will put her in my pocket. Hello? Eh? Whoa, you got a shield? Where did you get that? Is that a chair? Wait. Never mind that. What was that? Did you see that misty shit in my face? Lycosis petal lays on the ground, emanating an ominous aura. You vaguely remember seeing this kind of flower before. Vaguely? No, I don't. I very clearly... Oh, no. I don't want to fight that thing. Ah, damn. Always right before the ult. Hi. Actually. Empathy? Maybe telepathy. Empathy and telepathy are two different things, Abby. Please pick one. Directly into the mind of the Lorite. Could that be what happened? I'm the chosen one, once again.
か眠くなってきた。
Mood.
情報を伝える方法はたくさんあるのに、よりにもよって
It's apparently the most convenient one, but why did they go through all the trouble? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe calling for help was the only option.
つまり妻子は助けを求めている。それにテティスで見たあのメッセージ、まさかここの妻子も核と同じように窮地に陥っている。
Probably. Or worse, controlled like a little puppet.
ほとんど姿を見せていない。何か変だ。さっきの音階についてもっと話を聞いてみよう。
Are the machine looking things not machine things? Are they actually echoes? Is that what I'm...
ああ、モンテリファミリーはずっと個人用デバイスと個人用音階の普及に力を注いできた。ラグーナ人のほとんどは公共音階に依存していて、個人用音階の概念すら持っていない。そこをモンテリファミリーカルネバーレの再開を支えてきたのも、個人用デバイスを普及させる後期と考えている。
Oh, that's what the carnival was. I thought it would be something fun. It's not even fun, it's work. Ugh. Such is the life of the hero, and why I personally... Whoa. Is that your terminal?
ちょっと待って。
Your terminal's cool. Can I have that one?
アルベルトさん。はい、ちょうど今。かしこまりました。ごめん、お待たせ。今のはモンテリファミリーのアルベルト。今回の依頼人だ。
You should quit your job and come stay with me.
店長に謝罪したいと言っていたよ。それとモンテリファミリーは全力を挙げて事件の調査に取り組むので心配はいらないと。
Don't copy me. Please give female rover pants.
その点でも焦っているはず。
Why the undies?
あと
Barely undies, actually.
あの音階はあなたと目が合ってから動き出した。まるであなたを探していたかのように。
You got sharp eyes. Very pretty sharp eyes. So is this working? Do you think she is charmed?
仕事と関係のない情報には耳を塞ぐと約束しよう。私が受けた指示はあなたの案内だけ。でもまあ、事件の調査の手伝いも業務の範囲内なのかな。
You were very professional.
私の力を信じてくれてありがとう。
What was the sudden tone change?
で、これからどう動く？
Let's find that dancer.
でも今はあいつが逃げた大まかな方向しかわからない。そうだな。まずは先駆条約に行こう。そこに知り合いがいるんだ。彼の共鳴能力があれば何か手がかりを発見できるかもしれない。
Sure, let's go. Whatever you say. Whatever you say, mommy. Optional. Investigate the quota. What is that? Little dish on the ground. Strange aura. Oh. I'm sorry, we didn't pick that up? Planet. Pardon.
全知全能の祭司。これは祭司の怒りと警告。
Why did we choose to talk to an acolyte? That was a mistake. What do you mean?
10年前のカルネバーレは祭司の怒りを神罰を招いた。しかし、その狂気
That's a little dramatic. I don't think the Sentinel cares that you guys threw a fucking rager like that.
私も覚えている。あの年のカルネバーレでは、本外の暴走をはじめとした恐ろしい事件が多く発生した。それから、主座がカルネバーレの開催を
I see. Ow, I got a random shiver.
あなたが知らないのも当然か。
恩外は神の使者。汚れに染まり暴走した挙句、人を襲うなんて。まさに神に不敬を働いた確たる証拠。我々は伝統への回帰を望んでいる。教団が今年のカルネバーレの開催を許してしまいました。お客様よ。我々と一緒に祭司の名を称えてください。神より力を授かった。
Divine blessing. I mean, it's not like us, the Sentinels people.
あの汚れし者は紀元信号塔の後期によって浄化される。要するに、あれを
It would be reset in the data bank. That's how we usually deal with malfunctioning echoes. They talk about their echoes like they're machines. Oh, it is an echo. I see. It does look very echoey. Acolyte leaves while murmuring to herself.
ラグーナの恩外にはつながりがあり、それを通じて暴走の症状は蔓延する。でも、今それは起こっていない。これが祭司の神罰じゃないとしたら、もしか
Let's pick the pace and find that dancer.
事情を知らない教団に捕獲され初期化されたら。
Bam, 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 bam. Your glasses are weird. Oh, Alphonse. Oops. I mean to jump down. Whoa. Cute. What's this? Take a picture of the blushy squad. There's only two. It's a duo. Oh, standing here? There's people standing here, bruh. The fuck? How dare you make me stand in one little spot and be like, hey, take a picture. That bitch was blocking my photo. How dare? Fucking rude shit. Are you guys abusing this child? Thief, pickpocket, you should be ashamed of what you did. You were just in time. She tried... Sir, please calm down. The pilgrim sale is for people of false faith to seek repentance. This child is no heretic, so she can't be banished. Is the order covering for criminals now? No, you misunderstand. That falls under the jurisdiction of Chamber of Discipline, but since she is a minor, I believe it would be more appropriate for the Chamber in Enlightenment to handle her case. Child, tell me why you stole. Do you need help? No, I want to go to the pilgrim sale. I'm a heretic. I'm a bad kid who stole for no good reason. Mr. Acolyte, please arrest me. But child, do you really understand what this means to be a heretic? I know you are not one. Wait, I have to board the pilgrim sale to find my brother. He was banished. Banished? You misunderstood the purpose of the pilgrim sale. Listen, you'll be rewarded for your patience. Just stay home and wait and stop making poor choices. If you behave, he may return safely from his pilgrimage. What the fuck, bro? You just separate families now? Fucking, what the fucking shit? Why is that okay to you? Whoa. Training simulation. Ooh, this one's sword is all red and stuff. Hello, excuse me. Oh! Can I provoke it? I want to provoke it. Damn it. I should have provoked it. I spoon, I gotta take a picture. Yup. That's cool. Move your fucking head. That's cool. I like that. Man, these NPCs keep fucking photobombing me. I think I need to go up. I don't know where to go up. Oh, there's a wall I can run up. Yeah. What's up, boys? What? Okay, I'm stopping.
なあアントニオ、ここラグーナにおいては強い者が勝つ。違うか。ティモティオ、お前らフィサリアは契約を守る気はないのか。
He has a little bit of a cake.
あのモンテリファミリー
Snack
が
cakes.
そんなくだらないことを気にする
Not a
と
whole
は。
cake. Why do you have so many colors?
そんなことよりも、お前らの恩返が演じた茶番劇を早く終わらせてくれよ。
Okay, do I have to talk to him too?
あなたたちは
Okay, I guess so.
どうもアントニオさん。私はアベラルト銀行の従業員のザンニーです。ご存知だとは思いますが、こちらは漂白者。食事中に暴走したビトルム団。
あなたがあの申し訳ございません。
It's okay, but there's something I want to know. Tell me about the reserve terminals and echoes. Reserve terminals are all for echo use. They store echoes in their databank and only grant access through screening. Only select few resonators are permitted to carry a reserved terminal. You see, most Grenesi rely on the Genesis Nexus, common echoes, with a little need for special access types. However, things have changed. Greater Solaris. See, why demand is up. Montelli saw an opportunity and started to develop them. After all, necessity is the mother of invention.
教団への不信だの、妻子に対する不敬だの、散々言われましたよ。俺に言わせれば、ほとんどがフィサリアファミリーの入れ知恵だと思いますけどね。我々がカルネバーレの再開に力を入れるのも個人用では。ここからの問題です。
Have coerced our miners to break their contracts, seizing our largest vein and cutting off terminal supply. They must be in league with the Order. How else would they dare to seize our mine so boldly? It gets worse. The carnival's nearing and our echoes are malfunctioning. The family's executor might have to step... Whoa, 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 whoa. No need to execute people, man. There is no need. It's a little drastic. I have my own reasons. Money. If you want help, you must offer a reward, and only one only declines a reward when they refuse to help. Okay, bye.
今までの情報から判断すると、モンテリファミリーにはそれに対してフィサリアファミリーはずっと何かしらの
The mystery continues.
ああ
Let's go. Investigation. Whoa. What happened? What is that?
近道ですね。
How do I get that? You took my grappling hook off. That's why I can't get to it. Bing.
一目瞭然。
Alright, by the way. Wait. Ugh, stop vaulting. Do I see any more shiny things? What is that? Flips in and jump. Okay, that's not important. That was just a flower. Unlimited sprinting and dashing. Thank God. Hello.
世界はあなたのために開かれる。先駆条約へようこそ。ザンディじゃないか。久しぶり。
Why is there film in your hair?
今日はおしゃべりをしに来たわけじゃない。
もしかして新しい友達？はじめまして。俺はフルミーネ。先駆条約ラグーナ支部が運営しているワザリム映像スタジオの。
Nice to meet you. I'm you. He's a special NPC.
もしかしてあなたがあの伝説の漂白者？
Imagine if that happened to a person in real life. They just had like weird little emote little things off to the sides of their heads. Like, bing. You know? I would just be like, alright, I ain't talking to you. You're some kind of demon or something. And not the hot kind, like Zani is. The kind with the cute little tail and the little horns. I'm not sus, you're sus. What is...
あれか。知ってるよ。場外へ出たところを見たんだ。追いかけてる教団の人をたくさん引き。
Whose idea was this? This is dumb.
どんな場面だったかというと、我が相棒シモス。どれどれ。
The fuck is that?
これはセルロイド録写という共鳴能力。こういった事件を特殊なフィルムにして、一定期間内に発生した
That's interesting.
情報を記録できるんだ。そしてそのフィルムを再生するには、彼の相棒の恩愛、シモスの能力。
I don't like this fleshy looking arm. Shriveled flesh arm. See this. Imagine if that happened in real life. Abby, sniff sniff. Too sleepy to help? What about me? I'm also sleepy. I don't think Rover's slept ever.
俺は自分の見たことしか記録できないからこれぐらいしか。
いや、助かったよ。少なくともフシュシュのようにあてもなく探し回らずに済んだ。
New plan. Right. New plan. Let's see. Can you think back carefully? Yeah, that's the solution. Think harder. Do it. Was anything unusual? Think really hard. You've got this. You got this. What do you remember? Yes. A sussy boy. You're an unusual mask.
モンテリファミリーがこういった仮面をかぶることはそうそうない。しかもモンテリファミリーは個人用デバイスを普及させようとしている。こんな不祥事は誰よりも恐れているだろう。
He may be a spy or in disguise. A spy in disguise. Ba, ba, ba-na-na-na. Da, da, da-na-na-na. Da, da, da-na-na-na.
特注品の可能性が高いと思う。
一理ある。ただ貴族はプライバシーを大事にしているから、ナイアーラに聞くと無駄に疑われるんじゃないか。
I have a plan.
何か思いついたの？それじゃ、
Excellent.
マスクドレベルに行こう。
さようなら。
どういたしまして。
What? What do you mean? Upgrade what? Event? This? Is that this? Oh! It is. Interesting. Insufficient stamps. Rude. I had 300. Lame. Cool. Cool. Did I get another one? No? Well. Who? I feel weird that you guys are making me take pictures. I don't want to do that. These. Ooh. How did I miss that? I don't know, but I did. Trophies. Bubble bath. Pipers, please. I thought I had another one. Nope. I have no self-control. Blue. Purple. Blurple. Relativistic. Interesting. What is this? Attack? Okay. Why do I need double attack? I want a pretty lady. This is the third weapon you've given me on this banner. Pretty lady.
とパウダーパレットとジュエリーセットは入荷しましたか？はい、用意できております。お持ち帰りになられますか？それとも今晩お宅にお届けしますか？それでは配達。いえ、すぐに使うので渡してちょうだい。わかりました。少々お待ちを。今すぐ商品を持ってきます。コスチュームと仮面の専門店、マスクドレベリーへようこそ。
Wait, why is she leaving? I didn't even get to ask if she wanted to hold my hand.
お客様はどんな商品をお探しですか？
Who's there?
失礼ですね。私はここにいるのに。まさか私、そんなに存在感ないの？それともお客様が見て見ぬふりをしているの？
Behind me?
もしかしたら今あなたの後ろに。
ナイヤーラ、私には見えてるよ。あなたの手品なんてとっくの昔に知ってる。
もうせっかく可愛いお客さんが来てくれたんだから、もう少し楽しませてよ。
Whoa. That's kind of cool.
それに顔を
You're talking?
より仮面の美しさが際立つでしょ。
客を怖がらせる方が悪趣味だと思うけど。
I thought echoes don't talk.
気にしないで。彼女は本部ロイルーシブという。
Okay, so it is a real person.
こちらは漂白者。モンテリファミリーの招待客。
Yes, I'd like a custom mask. I want one side black and one side white with a little bit of black on the white side and a little bit of white on the black side. Make it look lacy. Maybe some sparkles. That is not what I asked for at all. She didn't listen. Souls break free from the shackles of everyday life. That's why we love balls and plays and eagerly awaiting the carnival and VTubers. I wonder what it is about masquerades that are so alluring. The mystery. Also, masks are hot.
ラグーナでは仮面をかぶるとその人の魂は自由を得られます。なので当店の役割はお客様の理想の自
The
分を
mystery.
実現させる
And masks are hot.
といったところでしょう。
Like blindfolds. Why do you think I have a mask? It's because it's fucking hot and cool and mysterious. I'm so mysterious with this mask on. She's suspicious. Will I be forced to reveal my hand? So are you certain you want to custom order this particular mask? Well,
素敵な仮面ですね。
hi.
でも
Before you run off again,
ベルト卿も
they wanna help
受
him.
け取っていた気が
They
します
can I hold their hand? Maybe that's because a masquerade mask is like a blindfold, but with eye holes. That's the opposite of a blindfold.
反映させたデザインにした方がいいですよ。
Excuse me, miss. Would you like to maybe
それ
hold
では
can
私
can
は
I
これで失礼します。
hand hold hand, please? Where are you going? Don't leave
同じ
again.
仮面を身につけた人を見かけたから気になって同じのを探していたんだけど、まさかフィサリアファミリーのジルベルトだったとは。
フィサリアファミリーはディナシータで最も由緒あるファミリー。その
She was clipping through that.
ディナシータで戦争を起こし、衰退してラグーナを出たという言い伝えがあります。
ファミリーの名誉より自分の利益や好みを優先して行動するようなメンバーが多く、悪名高い輩も歴史に名を残す偉人も輩出している賛否両論のファミリーだ。
彼らは長い間縄張りから出ることがなかったのですが、ここ数年で多くのメンバーが屋敷を城内に戻し、なぜか宝石事業にも手を染め始めました。強い後ろ盾を得たかのように急に傲慢で横暴になって、
Are you gonna stop being invisible?
ジルベルトさんの仮面何十回も修正が入ってとても大変でした。
Bird. Chat, there was a regular bird.
彼らの変化は気になる。
お客様がモンテリファミリーに招待されている以上、同じ仮面の注文はおすすめしかねます。
Why is that?
カルネバーレに個人用音階を投入するかどうかをめぐってモンテリはフィサリアと対立しています。確か先ほどの騒ぎもモンテリの音階の暴走が原因でしたよね。これで個人用音階を推進するモンテリはより不利になるでしょう。
Where'd it go? Did you guys see that? Oh, look, it's almost like a halo. I see.
どうやらフィサリアファミリーが絡んでいるのは確かなようだね。
That's unfortunate. I didn't want them to be their fault. Especially after the cute little
フィサリアファミリーの屋敷
pharmacy
は
lady.
礼拝堂の近くにある。
Oh,
ついでに教団の
wings?
人から手がかりを探ろう。
What is that?
と仮面についてはもう少し
お礼には及びません。ミス・ザンニーは大切なお客様ですもの。
So this is an actual person wearing this gaudy dress.
陰徳と開花の意味が込められている。とても魅力的ですよね。
The face I choose to show.
お
This
客
one.
様の心にある仮面はどのような形なのでしょうか。万華鏡のように眩しいこの夢はいつでもお客様のために開かれます。またお越しください。
Ooh. Its mouth was moving. Where'd it go? I need that. Ups. I need uppies.
進みましょう。
Uppies! I need this. I need to... There's children standing on that. That's... I feel like that's wrong. Somehow. I reach that? Do I have to jump on the other one? This. Damn it. I gotta jump on the other building. Hey, wait. Crooked. Alright. Where'd it go? Huh? Where is it? What? What? Where'd it... Huh? Where'd it go? Oh. Got it. Got it. Everything's fine. All good. I got it, guys. I figured it out. I was standing underneath it. Silly me. Can I stand on that floaty box? Is that a cat? Why are you not opening the glider? It is a kitty. He's sleeping on the roof. Oh, I got distracted. My bad. Dong. Ding dong. Dong dong dong. Ding 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 dong. Dong ding ding dong. Dong 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 dong. Your shoes are mismatched. Okay. I like to call my piece Memories of Olaf, the snowman. So, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Damn. She knows she's hot. You see that lean? The more I see her, the better she looks. A mermaid Pegasus unicorn? It flies, swims, and stabs. Touch it. Lick it. Whoa. Maybe don't touch it or lick it. I'm pretty sure that's salt water. Hey, yo, is the gondola about to float upstream? It's like a salmon. That's weird. It's that man. Chase him. Follow him. I got it. I got it. Anything for you, Sunny? Whoa. Wait, your sentinel is a Pegasus mermaid unicorn thing? Gilberto. You look exhausted, Gilberto. Don't overstep. Too late, I'm here and I'm the most scrutinous. Again, what's with these colors? Mochiron. You piece of shit. Using your power as... I forget what they call you, but fuck you. Your religious bullshit. Abuse of power. You wanna see power? I show you in the shape of a sword. I show you real power. I want that stick. I gotta go look at that statue. That statue looks flight. Eh? What do you mean? What do you mean? Why can I suddenly fly? I need to go look at that statue. It's very important. You can fly. I don't like that. No, don't talk to me. I'm gonna go look at that statue back there. It's very important. Very, very important. Yes. Smash. I like it. I like it. I like that. You looked at the big Pegasus mermaid unicorn. It's creepy from this angle, but wait. Yes. No. Wait. Just a little climb, please. Thank you. Yes. Hello. Okay. What is this doors? What is this door? What is this door? Oh. Wouldn't you know it? It's an exit. Whoa. Cathedral of Mercury. Whoa. You do have a thing up there. I climb these. Okay. Nice. How high is it? Is it all the way up? It looks like it might be all the way up. At least it's not like, oh, you gotta glide from this point. Thank God these ones have teleports on them. Quality of life update, if you feel me. I haven't seen treasure yet. I don't know what treasure looks like in this area. And I'm kind of confused. Okay. Where's the door again? I didn't actually mean to leave. Silly me. Door means to exit. Didn't realize that. I thought I was more in. In further. Not out. Ghost? What the fuck? Oh shit. I think the time just changed over. Like, elapsed. It did. Well, shit. Oops. That's our sign. Excuse me, I have to go over here so that you can talk to me. Hi. We came from that direction, not from behind you. We're here to see Gilberto. I saw you talking to him. Pious? You're such a liar. You're a piece of shit and I can't wait to stab you with a sword. I'm gonna switch to Rover just to do it. I'm gonna twist it. Insert blade here and turn counterclockwise. If you must. Where's the part where I tell him to shut the fuck up and quit being a piece of shit and abusing his power? Is it because of an accident? Or it is because of an accident?
天まで昇る霧が街を覆い尽くし、勇気にも似た音階が溢れ出しました。巨竜は方向を上げ空を舞い、海を渡る巨獣は荒れ狂う波を起こしたのです。
The dragon saw the water dragon and was not happy. I can actually see what's in the water. What the fuck is that? Flashbang.
身勝手に振る舞う人々への神罰なのです。
You religious zealots, I swear. Not everything's a punishment. Shit just happens sometimes. That's not what I heard from. You guys are all twisted.
ないしコミュニティの協力がなければ土地の開墾も島々の協力も机上の空論となる。
I suppose, but you guys are like using fear, which is fucked up.
人々は己が欲望に溺れないようエゴにタガをはめるべきなのです。大いなる求心力と秩序は式典と儀式でしか約束できないのですから。 我々は道を踏み外した異端を駆逐しなければならない。集団の利益を損なった子に制裁を与えなければならないのです。長い間、我々はそれに力を注いできました。もちろん。 もちろん。私が申し上げたいのは、教団のあらゆる行動は慎重に検討されたものであるということ。我々は祭司の意志に基づいて、天上の浄土、至福の楽園を作るべく、民の団結を促しております。これは今も昔も変わりません。 教団による裁きをどうか信じてください。我々は必ずや全ての問題を解決してみせましょう。何？モンテリがどうして？休養ができましたので、これにて失礼いたします。耳は虚実を。 目は真実を映す。礼拝堂は自由にご覧いただいて構いません。我々は真実の追求を拒んだりいたしませんので。ですが、設備を壊すような行動はお控えください。戒めを破った場合、異端者の烙印が押されるでしょう。
Alrighty.
よっぽどなことでもあったんだろうね。客人をほったらかしにしてどこかへ行くなんて。あの司祭、あまり誠実な人には見えなかった。それにジルベルトは消えるようにいなくなってしまった。ここには隠し通路でもあるのか。
ここを自由に見てもいいと言われている。徹底的に調べてみよう。
Alrighty, guys, it's kind of late for me. I'm gonna end the stream here. Thank you guys so much for watching. We're gonna go... I'm sending you guys to someone who is also playing this. Just the first one I saw, honestly. I don't know who this is. They're non-binary. So that's cool. Canadian, it looks like. Anyway, I will see you tomorrow. I will continue this. Bye-bye. Whoops, I closed that too fast.